Well, terrible show tonight. I'm the Godfather Soldier Swimming. Name my topic tonight is called Goofy and Garbage in Garland, Texas. Will All In Texas be any good this Saturday night? Then I'm going to give all you my predictions for AEW All In. But before I do, I'm going to open up the show a little bit of music. One of my favorite songs when I was a teenager. It's called Don't You by the Pussycat Dolls. Don't You. Featuring CeeLo Green, rapper CeeLo Green. Don't You, Don't You. Don't You by the Pussycat Dolls featuring Busta Rhymes. That's it. So so probably so start the music, and I'll be right back. Yep, there it is. There you heard it. All you heard it by the Pussycat Dolls featuring Busta Rhymes, don't you? So let's get down to business. Tonight's terrible show. I know it's gonna be worse this Saturday's main event. Two nights. Okay, here we go. Okay, we get an intro video to bring us to ringside where Mercedes Moné makes her way out to face her to her final face-to-face with timeless Toni Storm ahead of All in Texas. The ring is decked out with a red carpet of sorts and a pair of director's chairs as the CEO AEW Women's TBS Champion. AEW TBS Women's Champion enters, telling Texas to say hello to their CEO. Moné calls the AEW Women's World Champion out to meet her face to face. The screen comes on comes on instead. Storm talks to two big things coming out of Texas, and Toni Storm is the least of one of them. This gets to a pop to a Toni chant from the crowd as Mercedes tells her to come out of hiding, you mark. She also promises not to hurt Luther too badly, so Toni insists she's not hiding before calling for her music. The champion storms on her way down to the ring with a bottle of champagne. Moné offers a toast to Storm, a toast for herself as she will become the new AEW Women's Champion. She takes a sip, complaining about it being burnt as it was frozen. She tells Storm, but Storm tells her to save the performing the BS, performing the bullshit for her entrance. She runs down her challenger, a highlight of which she is saying Moné has the emotional death of a kiddie pool, asking what Mercedes has to hide going to their match. Mercedes mocks her, insisting that she outclasses Toni in every way before saying no one will stop the money train, not even Toni Storm. She talks about her legacy calling herself the one woman revolution, the Alpha and Omega, everything in between. But Toni says she legacies don't exist. We're all going to die. All that matters is one moment that Mercedes looks at her in every eye and realizes she fears an ordinary life, but Toni fears an ordinary death. She says Moné deserves all the titles in the world, but not this one. Mercedes will go down as the woman who just couldn't win the big one. Mercedes realizes they can't be civil about it, saying this Sunday she means this Saturday, she will have to beat Toni Storm and take what's hers. To let the crowd know what they think of that slip as a pair of toast one more time for Storm charges at the AEW Women's TBS Champion. She lays in some punches before Moné closes out the ring, retreating up the ramp as Tony's music hits, while Storm runs into Mercedes and Mercedes down some more. We cut backstage to a package. We cut backstage to a visionette where Jon Moxley talks about Hangman Adam Page, asking if he can hold the line under pressure of everyone, counting on him at All In Texas. He thinks Page is a waste, but the Hangman has one more chance to prove him wrong. He better walk the aisle like it's his last time, because whether he likes it or not, he's all the way in with this. We cut to the parking lot where the where the young bucks have eagerly missed call time to finally of all in all of arriving all in arrive all ahead of All-Star 8-man tag team match later tonight. The cheek of them. Back at ringside, Bandito and Brody King make their entrance for our opening match. Our next is Proceed as we get things underway. Brody King and Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito versus Proceed Cloud Fletcher and Suki Takashita. We start off with Brody and Takashita, the two big men trading heavy strikes until King takes the upper hand. This forces the Alpha to make the tag to Fletcher. We ends up suffering a similar fate until King decides to tag in Bandito. The Luchador keeps the Pro Star on his toes with a flurry of offense, forcing Fletcher to his corner, where he calls out Kanazuki to tag in. Takashita obliges as we get a peek of what's to come at the Supercard of Honor. When two go at it, Bandito catches Takashita with an arm drag only to get laid out with a lariat by the Alpha. Catches Brody with one, sending him right back out of the ring, leading the drive from Bandito, Kanazuki, Bandito, Kanazuki, and the King. The King brings his partner back into the ring, into the work of the double team on Kanazuki, but Fletcher intervenes to even things out. He and Takashita and send Brody out of the ring, posing to the chagrin of the crowd as we go to an full ad break on HBO Max. Back from the break, Fletcher's in control as he goes after Bandito before sending him to the corner, only for a Luchador to knock Takashita off the apron, which lets some focus on taking Fletcher down next. Tag made to Brody, who takes the Pro Star to the mat with a big slide slam before sending him to the corner for a running cannonball. He pulls Kyle away from the corner for a cover, but only gets a 2 count. Fletcher is back up with a thrust kick, but that gets blocked only for Kyle to take him down with a Manushiku driver. This only gets a 2 count before Kyle escapes for a tag for Takashita. Bandito tags in as well, but Proceed double team him until Brody hops on the apron, catching Fletcher with sleeper Bandito. Goes up for a frog splash onto the Alpha covered by Bandito, but Fletcher barely manages to break the pin. Brody, King, Fletcher take their flight to the outside as Takashita blocks a 21 plex. Bandito makes his way up to the ropes, but is take back down, and a tornado attempt leads to a raging fire take him down as Takashita takes the win for his team. Winners via pinfall Proceed. Callis joins the pair to celebrate as commentary hypes up the upcoming leading week leading to All In Texas on Saturday, not Sunday. The VO package Outrunners promise to take FTR down tomorrow night with the Jet Speed in the Patriarchy mix. Patriarchy in the mix and for an 8-man tag match on Collision. Backstage, we hear from FTR and the Patriarchy. Christian Cage and Nick Wayne challenged for the AEW World Tag Team Championship at All In Texas. Cage offers to help FTR out after they win their titles in exchange for help at Collision tomorrow night. Stoke addresses the fact that the FTR were left out of their little title match on Saturday, agreeing to Cage's offer so far by saying how Collision goes. Back at ringside, Ricochet makes his way out as we go to an inset promo from Blake Christian, who's in the ring for our next match as things gets underway. Ricochet versus Blake Christian. Blake goes after Ricochet early, taking him to the ropes before Ricochet fights back. Christian forces him to the outside for a breather, but manages to turn things around and despite balls chants from the crowd, manages to get back under control, eventually sending Ricochet out of the ring. As the crowd cheers for him, he goes for a dive, leaping through the ropes, takes Ricochet to the floor to a nice pop. Gates Agony make their way out, distracting Blake long enough for Ricochet to send him out of the ring as we go to an ad break on HBO Max. Back from break, both men are in the ring once more, long before as Ricochet sends Blake out for the outside. Goes for a dive but gets caught by Christian for a 2 count. Blake is up on his feet, laying Ricochet out with some right hands until Ricochet fights back, but Christian hits a cutter, setting him for a 450 splash. And a closed 2 count on Ricochet. Blake goes to the ropes, but is knocked to the outside as the Gates of Agony try to intervene. They manage to succeed out after Ricochet distracts the ref, and this gives Ricochet the opening for a spirit gun, followed by the vertical for the win. Winning by pinfall, Ricochet. Gates of Agony come in to beat up on Blake after the match before they stand beside him as he celebrates his win. Backstage, Renee talks to MJF about the upcoming talkie-talkie with Briscoe, but more on Jackass Friedman insists he won't be dealing with that alone, as he has the Hurt Syndicate with him. MVP interrupts to get the tag chance to grab their titles, only to find that Jet Speed have taken the belts early after Kevin Knight got the win over Shelton on Collision. This riles the trio up, leaving more on Jackass Friedman on his own as we cut away. Video package: the history between Kazuki Okada and Kenny Omega leading up to their winner takes all match in All In Texas. We're back at ringside as Mark Briscoe heads out for a talkie-talkie with more on Jackass Friedman. Speaking of more on Jackass Friedman, makes his way out next, entering the ring as the first 2 entrants in the upcoming Casino Gauntlet match stare at each other. Tiny Pickle chant from the crowd until Mark asks him to settle down for this. Heavy side talkie-talkie, and more on Jackass Friedman feels more strongly about this than I do. As Briscoe runs down before mocking the Texas crowd, he jokes about dog walking Briscoe and All In Texas. The crowd tells him to shut the fuck up. Warren Jackass Friedman persists. He tells Briscoe there will be no talkie-talkie, but he can take a walkie-walkie right out of the ring. But Briscoe says, "Listen here, Pickle, it sounds like you need a good old-fashioned country ass whooping." The crowd encourages him as he talks about delivering an ass whooping to the Casino Gauntlet, but that is Saturday. Wednesday is talkie-talkie day. Warren Jackass Friedman tries to berate Briscoe, but it doesn't work because Mark is proud to be a country redneck, he had to work hard for every dollar he's earned. He talks about Warren Jackass Friedman thinking he's rich, but Mark has his own riches in his family and loved ones. Warren Jackass Friedman isn't rich, he is bankrupt. In fact, the word of the day today is bankrupt, because Warren Jackass Friedman is morally bankrupt. He has no soul. He sees right through Warren Jackass Friedman. He already knows what he's gonna do. He knows Warren Jackass Friedman is gonna talk some mad trash about his mother, brother, and try to rile him up. And he invites him to give it his best. Warren Jackass Friedman says he never talk bad about Jay, who will go down as one of the greatest wrestlers and human beings ever. However, he does pity his brother, who has had to watch from the pearly gates from Mark Briscoe going from being one half from being the best tag team in pro wrestling to being a joke. Then leads in and says that Jay will probably tell Mark it shouldn't have been me in that accident, it should have been you. Gets Mark mad enough to take Warren Jackass Freeman down to the mat, laying in some punches before the Hurt Cynic come in to make the save. They make their way down as Briscoe chases Warren Jackass Freeman to the back, only to be intercepted by Jet Speed, who takes Shelton into the ring before laying out Lashley with a running kick on the floor. They continue to fight as Lashley as Patriarch come out to pick up the scraps. They focus on Lashley, setting up for a Concerto on his knee as Jet focus on dealing with Shelton Benjamin in the ring. Thrust kick by Speedball leads to an UFO splash by Kevin Knight before the pair stare down at the Patriarchy look at them from the outside of the ring. Commentary hypes up the card, and for All in Texas, we find out who earns the number 2 spot in the women's Casino Gauntlet match. Video package: DraftKings and ongoing prizes for pay-per-view productions comes to All In Texas on Saturday. Back at ringside, Megan Bang is accompanied by Fennell before she makes her way out for our next match. We get a shot of Chris Statlander watching from the crowd as Thea makes her entrance next, followed by Queen Aminata, rounding out the competitors for this four-way match is Tay Mello, accompanied by Anna Jay. This ring before we get underway. Four-way match for the number 2 spot in the women's Casino Gauntlet, All In Texas. Megan Bang versus Tay Mello versus Queen Aminata versus Theka. Bang goes after Theka from the opening bell as Aminata and Mello go at it. Theka is sent out of the ring by Megan, who lays out Tay and the Queen with a double clothesline before this action spills to the outside. Coming in a dive off the top by Aminata, Theka takes control shortly after. As we go to a full ad break on HBO Max. Back from the break, Theka gets a 2 count on Aminata. Mello comes in to intervene. Bang breaks it up before we go after the Queen and Tay. Megan takes control as she drives Theka down for a near fall of her own. Before Aminata and Mello goes after the Megasis, they duck a double clothesline before sending her out of the ring, and Aminata rolls up Tay for Theka breaks it up. It doesn't last much before Megan gets involved, hoisting Theka up to launch her over the top rope on Aminata and Mello after they sending them outside, then landing a big dive of her own when they get back to their feet. She brings Tay back into the ring, but Mello manages to fight back with some kicks. They sets up Bang for a gory special knee strike. Gets sent out of the ring as Theka goes after the Megasis instead. She sets up for a spear, but gets for a near fall before Aminata breaks the pin. Bang is sent out of the ring as Aminata turns things around on Theka to send her out of the ropes before Penelope intervenes. Anna pulls her away as Megan sets up for a fate's descent, having to quickly adjust to keep Aminata's shoulders onto the mat. She gets the win during the number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match and All in Texas. Winning by pinfall, number 2 Gauntlet Casino match, All In Texas, Megan Bang. Bang celebrates his commentary analogies to recent tragedy in Central Texas, as AEW kept the victims and their families in thoughts. We go to commercial break. Backstage, Renee tries to get a word with Theka about the women's Casino Gauntlet match. On Saturday, she's attacked by Queen Aminata. They go at it as Mark Briscoe pops up to say he just got what he needed from M1 and Jackass Freeman tonight. And it's all fired up to win the men's Casino Gauntlet match and All In Texas. We head to the ringside as Samoa Joe makes his entrance for our next match. Wheeler Yuta makes his entrance that makes Wheeler Yuta makes his way down the hallway leading through the crowd, soaking the hate from the fans in his way toward the ringside before this match gets underway. Samoa Joe versus Wheeler Yuta. The crowd lets Yuta know Joe's gonna kill you as he tries to lock up with former world champion, who seems barely phased even by Wheeler winching his arm. Joe takes him to the mat, forcing him to go for the ropes for a break. Wheeler Yuta calls for a test of strength. Well, Joe obliges, to which causes an issue for Wheeler. He gets sent to the corner. Catches Joe for a moment, but Joe nopes away from jump from Yuta. Joe leaves the ring as Wheeler Yuta goes for another dive, and Joe Hope nopes away once more, forcing Yuta to land on her for as we go for a full ad break on HBO Max. We come back from the break just as Joe gets a near fall on Yuta. Both men get back to their feet feet before Joe takes Yuta back to the canvas. Wheeler manages to fight back enough to send Joe to the outside for a dive that connects. This time, when Joe gets back in the ring, he is taken down by Yuta for a 2 count. Joe gets sent to the corner, but fights back until Yuta takes him down for an armbar. Joe fights back for a Manhattan drop before getting a 2-off running section. He keeps up on top of the Yuta for a second near fall in a row for bringing Yuta to the corner. He sends Yuta to the ropes, but Wheeler looks for a German suplex, only to take a bite out of Joe, trying to roll him up and counters out into a cocoon clutch, and Yuta taps out. Winner via submission, Samoa Joe. Celebration is court showed by the arrival of Gabe Kidd, but Powerhouse Hobbs and Kazuri Shibata run down to intervene. Kidd and Yuta escape to the crowd as we go to commercial break ahead of our main event up next. We're back from commercial. There's been enough talk. It's time for our main event. Hobbs and Shibata are introduced as they're obviously still out here from moments ago. Out next is Will Ospreay to a big pop from the Garland crowd. Rounding out the team is Hangman and Page to his big pop as he heads out to the ring. Out next are the Young Bucks to a mixed reaction. Some EVPs seem to lean into as we get a Jon Moxley and Kyle Castellano coming through the crowd as we head toward ringside. The pair enter the ring as we get things underway for our main event. All-Star 8-man tag team match: Jon Moxley, Kyle Castellano, and the Young Bucks versus Hangman Page, Will Ospreay, Kazuri Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs. We eventually start off with Page and Matthews, though Hangman is more focused on Mox, and this allows Matthews to take advantage to tag Nicholas and the Young Bucks to take down their former best friend, only for Ospreay to get a tag to even things up. He takes out Matthew before tagging in Shibata, the pair taking the fight to Nicholas in the corner, for Hobbs tags in to assist. Power Slam leads to a tag to Ospreay, who hits a Sky Twister press for a near fall before it gets broken up. The action spills to the outside as all 8 men go at it, leading to Page going for a moonsault off the top of the rest of the down below as we go to a full ad break on HBO Max. Back from ringside, Page gets the tag to go after everyone he can go finally focus on Matthew for a fallaway slam. He goes after Claudio with a dive to the outside as we set up a spot table at ringside to get ringside. Page gets back up in the ring for a Liger Bomb on Matthew. Nicholas breaks up the pin at a 2 count. In the midst of the AI attempt, we barely catch that Cloud gets a blind tag as we go for a hangman. Hobbs tag makes a tag made to Hobbs as the powerhouse trade shots with Kai Custer before sending him to the corner for a series of strikes and a meat chant. Kyle starts to fight back, but Shibata makes the tag to go after him. The Bucks jump Page. Bucks and Page jump in with chaos ensues until Ospreay gets caught with a double super kick. They do the same to Hobbs, setting up to be sent through the table by Claudio. EVP trigger connects with Shibata as Moxley gets the tag now. Claudio in the Bulldog choke, but Shibata has no choice to tap out. Brings via submission, John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Young Bucks. Page tries to intervene but is cut off by Gabe Kidd, with Yuta coming in as the Death Rider set up Page before handing a pair of plastic bags to cover the hangman with. EVPs are hesitant to do their old friend what was once done to Brian, and they never quite do it. As screen reveals to Shred Strickland out in the parking lot, he talks about the choices they have made in life before we discover that he is operating an advocator, and he goes to work on destroying the custom limousine out of Young Bucks. We cut between him doing this and the ops and Page turning things around on the Bucks and the Death Riders. Page looks to set up a buckshot lariat on Mox, but Claudio intercepts with an uppercut. This doesn't faze the Hangman in all that much as he sends Castagnoli away before staring down the champ. He is handed a chain that he looks to use on Mox, but Shafir pulls him away as the Death Riders escape through the crowd. We cut to the parking lot where the Young Bucks are beside themselves at the side of the cave-in limo. Prince Nile mocks them for a moment before Strickland gets to jump on them with a sure stomp, sending the Bucks to the ground. Back at ringside, Hangman continues to stare at Max as the Death Riders retreat ahead of the big showdown at All In Texas to bring Dynamite to a close. Wow, wasn't that good tonight. Wasn't that good tonight. Really goofy and garbage tonight in Garland, Texas. Now it's time for give y'all my predictions for this Saturday's All In Texas. AEW Women's TV World Championship. Timeless Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné first match. I'm gonna say Mercedes Moné is gonna retain. AEW World Championship. I say Hangman and a Page, Texas Death Match, AEW World Championship. Kazuki Okada Continental versus Kenny Omega International. Winner takes all match to unify the AEW Continental Championship and AEW International Championship into the inaugural AEW Unified Championship. I say Okada. And I don't know about the men's gauntlet match, future AEW World Championship match, and the women's gauntlet casino match for future women's AEW Championship match. Men's, I'm gonna say men's gauntlet. I'm gonna say I don't know. I don't know. I think Adam Cole might probably be in this. I think he might be in this. I might pick him to win. Participants for the women's casino gauntlet match for AEW Women's Championship match. I say that what's her name? What's her name? What is her name? Thunder Rosa will be in this, and I'm gonna go her with her to win. Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks. Matthew Jackson and Nicholas Jackson tag team match. Ospreay and Strickland lose. They cannot challenge for the AEW World Championship for a year. The Young Bucks lose. They'll be stripped of their executive vice president titles. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with Strickland and Strickland Osprey. Adam Cole, baby, versus Kyle Fletcher for the AEW TNT Championship. I'm gonna say Adam Cole retains. The Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin versus Just Speed Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey versus Patriarch Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. I'm gonna say the Hurt Syndicate gets this. Okay, those are my predictions. Got all that covered. Now it's time for something I like to do. I know what it's time for.
Reese.
I know what it's time for. I know that's the thing. It's time for the pop culture history, wrestling birthdays, pop culture history, and everything. All you gotta think is from Back to the Future time. Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd celebrated his 40th anniversary last Wednesday, last Thursday, July 3rd, 2025, because the movie was released July 3rd, 1985. So let's go to yesterday, July the 8th. Okay. Yesterday was a happy 65th birthday to Mark Merrill. Some of you know as in WCW as Johnny B. Bad, and in WWE as Wild Man Mark Merrill and Marvelous Mark Merrill. And oh wait, sorry, my mistake. That was his birthday, wasn't it? Sorry, that was yeah, I mean yesterday's. This is yesterday's, not today's. This is July the 8th. Sorry. Yesterday was a happy 84. Yesterday was a happy 84th birthday to Thunderbolt Patterson. Ludwig Kaiser turned 35 yesterday. Yesterday was a happy 57th birthday to Romeo Valentino. Yesterday was a happy 93rd birthday to Gene. Would have been a happy yesterday would have been a happy 93rd birthday to Gene Murphy. He was born on July 8, 1932, and he died on October 4, 2005. And yesterday was a happy 30th birthday to Sherilyn Amber Guerrero. the daughter of the late Eddie Guerrero. And yesterday, see some yesterday, July the 8th. Okay. Sergeant Craig Pittman beats Red Tyree submission to a cold red. Prime Moon match in the week. Big Bubba Rogers versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan to a double countout. All we know is some of you know is Big Boss Man. And the Blue Bloods defeat Joey Jarrett and Dave Walby when Lord Steven Regal makes Walby submit to his Regal wretch. Some of you know is William Regal. This was open up leading up to next pay per view Bash Beach '95, and we got a new and then we have a new host where the new host of he was replaced this man replacing Cruz wait, hold on, wait. Oh, there was still more matches. Wait, hold on. Then we see the Bash and Beach Control Center. WCW Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart cannot be bothered up to show up on television taping, so they knew and done a pre-recorded promo in California. Hogan promises to stick his boot down Vader's throat at Bash and Beach 95 and says that winner will take wrestling into the rest of the decade. The two matches are into match pay-per-view. Hacksaw Jim versus Kamala and Dave Sullivan versus Diamond Dallas Page. Hacksaw Jim Duggan pins Rick Thames after a 3-point stance clothesline. The non-title match, Harlem Heat World Tag Team Champions defeat Chris Harris and Sawyer and Vernon Henson when Booker T pins Henderson after a Harlem Hangover. Kamal pins John Terry after a splash. Nasty Boys beat Dick Slater with a bunkhouse butt with Colonel Tom Parker via the Dick Squad finish. Blue Bloods interfere at 7:48. Okay, on the same day, WCW Worldwide opening contest, Mike Starr beats Chris Nelson with a loud Magistraw cradle. Then Gene Oakland interviews Nasty Boys and the Problems Nasty Nation were running wild at Bash Beach 95. DDP, the Diamond Doll, Max Muscle defeats Ron Thompson after the Diamond Cutter. The Blue Bloods defeat T.A. McCoy and Bort Sawyer when Lord Steven Regal makes Sawyer submit to a legal stretch. The Blue Bloods destroy Sawyer when he tags in William Regal and gives him a Tombstone Pile Driver. Earl Robert Eaton follows him over the Tower of London and applies a Regal stretch for the submission for the win. Tex Lyncher beats Eddie Jackie after a reverse DDT. Sting and the Renegade, some of you know, is the fake version of Ultimate Warrior. Rip-off of the Ultimate Warrior. The Renegade defeat Dick Slater and Bunkhouse Buck with Colonel Tom Parker when Sting pins Buck after a flying body press. WWF Superstars. It was announced WWF Superstars that President Jack Tunney retired on July 8, 1995 as president of the World Wrestling Federation, WWE, and Jack Tunney. And God rest his soul. The match started with Black Plus Spuddy versus Mike Bell. John Pierre defeated Nick Barbary. Hakushi defeated Jeff Hardy. Man on a Mission King Mabel and Sir Mo defeated Smoking Guns and Billy and Bart. And on WCW main event, WCW Saturday night, leading up to WCW Bash Beach 95, Hacksaw Jim Duggan defeated Kip Abbey. WCW TV champion The Renegade defeated Rick Thames. Hawk defeated Lieutenant James Earl Wright. Kamal defeated Steve Storm. Blue Bloods defeated Mike Davis and Ron Thompson. And the Macho Man Randy Savage defeated Bunkhouse Buck. Macho Man was focusing on getting his revenge on Ric Flair in a lifeguard match at Bash Beach 95. Now, 2005, Impact Wrestling. Chris Sabin defeated Davey Young. I think this was hyping up to next pay-per-view No Surrender. 2005. Chris Sabin defeated Davey Young. And then Zach Gowen. There was a no contest between Mikey Bass and Zach Gowen. And Jeff Jarrett acted like a damn bully to Zach Gowen this night with a lady calling him Hopalong. That was despicable. Samoa Joe defeated Il Skipper and Shark Boy. And P. Williams defeated Amazing Red. And Abyss defeated with Father James Mitchell. Abyss with Father James Mitchell defeated Cassidy Riley. And the Naturals defeated and Lance Hort defeated Team Canada, Eric Young, A1, and Bobby Roode. And pop culture, couple of movies was released in theaters. Movies released in theaters on July 8th. A movie called let's see, a movie called Dark Water. Yeah, a movie called Dark Water starring Jennifer Connelly. And a movie called Fantastic Four starring Jessica Alba, Ian Gruffudd, Chris Evans, and Michael Chiklis from The Shield, and the late Julian McMahon, who we just lost. From Nip Tuck, we lost on July 2nd of this year. He played Dr. Doom in the movie. God bless his soul, he'll be missed dearly. The supporting cast in this movie also includes Stan Lee. The late Stan Lee was also in the movie, and Kerry Washington. From Kerry Washington from TV show Scandal. Let's see. In 2005, 2015 on Impact Wrestling. The return of Dixie Carter is back. Yeah, Dixie Carter returned, and see, and she makes some changes in her changes. He has like a change of heart. The Dirty Heels, Austin Aries, and Bobby Roode defeated Matt Hardy, Drew Galloway, so we know as Drew McIntyre, the Revolution, Manic, and Abyss and Koya. Mr. Anderson defeated Bram via DQ. Jesse Goddard defeated Robbie Eaton in Street Fight. Ethan Carter III defeated Nora Furnham to retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Ethan Carter III defeated Shark Boy to retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Lashley defeated Tyrus. Velvet Sky defeated Madison Ray, and Kurt Angle defeated Ethan Carter III. Tyrus in DQ in the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match. And on NXT that same day, Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks defeat Emma and Dana Brooke. Finn Balor defeated Kevin Owens to win the NXT Championship. Solomon Crowe defeated Marcus Lewis. The Vaudevillains, Aiden English and Simon Gotch defeated Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy and Carmella in an NXT Tag Team Title No. 1 Contenders match. Now let's go to July the 9th today. Oh, July the 8th, July the 8th, July 8th, 1985, King of the Ring. The first ever King of the Ring took place, where it all started. Sloan City in Frostboro, Massachusetts. Yeah, Jim Brunzell defeated Spoiler in King of the Ring Tour in the first round match. Tio Santana defeated Terry Funk by DQ in the first round, in the King of the Ring tournament first round match. The Iron Sheik defeated Brian Blair first round match in the King of the Ring tournament. Ricky D. Dragon Steamboat defeated Greg the Hammer Valentine, King of the Ring Tournament first round match. Les Thornton defeated Steve Lombardi, King of the Ring Tournament first round match. The Magnificent Don Morocco defeated Junkyard Dog, King of the Ring first round match. Pedro Morales defeated Johnny Valiant, King of the Ring first round match. Paul Owner versus Bob Orton Jr. in a double DQ, King of the Ring Tournament first round match. Jim Brunzell defeated El Matador Tio Santana, King of the Ring Tournament quarterfinal match. Iron Sheik defeated Ricky Dragon Steamboat on the King of the Ring Tournament qualifying match. The Magnificent Don Morocco defeated Les Thornton in the King of the Ring Tournament qualifying match. The Iron Sheik defeated Jim Brunzell King of the Ring Tournament semifinal match. Don Morocco defeated Pedro Morales King of the Ring Tournament semifinal match. And Don Morocco defeated the Iron Sheik King of the Ring Tournament final match. Hulk Hogan defeated Nikolai Volkov single match for the retain the WWE title same day. Now we just go July the 9th this time. Today is a happy 65th birthday to Mark Merrow. Some of you know as Johnny B. Bad from WCW, Wildman Mike Merrow from WWE, and Wildman Mike Merrow and Marvelous Merrow from WWE. And Kevin Nash turns you turn 65 today, and Kevin Nash turns 66 today. WWE Hall of Famer, so we know as Big Daddy Cool Diesel in WWE, and known his time in WCW as Vinny Vegas and Oz, and best known for creating the NWO was Kevin Nash and with Scott Hall and Hulk Hogan. PN News turns 56 today. Shelton Benjamin turns 50 today. And celebrity birthdays. Today's a happy 70th birthday to actor Jimmy Smits, best known for playing attorney Victor Fuentes on the NBC 80s sitcom, 80s courtroom drama LA Law, and known for playing Detective Bobby Simone on the ABC cop show, one of my favorites, NYPD Blue. Turned 70 years old today. And today would have been a happy, Jimmy Smith's my favorite actor. And today also would have been a happy 87th birthday to my favorite actor, Brian Dennehy. He would have been 87 today. He died on April 15, 2020. So God rest his soul. And let's see now. Today, July the 8th. WWF Wrestling Challenge. Okay, Savio Vega defeat WWF Wrestling Challenge this day, July 9th, 1995. Savio Vega defeated Lloyd NOI. Barry Horowitz defeated Skip with Sonny. The 1-2-3 Kid defeated Black Phantom. Waylon Mercer defeated Scott Taylor. Some of you know as Sky Tuhati. Okay, on WWF Action Zone USA Network. Waylon Mercy defeats Scott Taylor. We know as Sky Tuhati. 1-2-3 Kid defeats Black Phantom. And they talk about it, and they show a music video with My Baby Tonight with Jeff Jarrett. We all know that's not what him singing, was the Road Dogg singing. And Savio Vega defeats Lloyd Luanai, and Doc Hendricks interviews King Mabel and Sir Mo from Sir Mo. That was also shown on Wrestling Challenge same day, July 9, 1995, talking about In Your House, the Lumber In Your House 2, on July, which airs on pay-per-view July 16, 1995, or on July 23rd, 1995, pay-per-view. Then on WCW Saturday night, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Marcus Bagwell defeat Kamal and the Shark with Kevin Sullivan via DQ. The Shark, some of you know, is Earthquake, John Tenta, Earthquake and Avalanche. And trying to see what else. See what else. Trying to see what else. Trying to see what else. 2005 WWE Velocity. Yeah, they were just showing recaps of everything on WWE Velocity. Recaps of what's happening on SmackDown and everything. And see, 2015 on SmackDown this day. Okay, Dean Ambrose defeated Bo Dallas. Rusev with Summer Rae defeated Fandango by submission. Roman Reigns defeated Big Show by DQ after his actions he did to Dolph Ziggler on Raw. That was July 13th, 2015. Roman Reigns defeated Big Show by DQ. Tyson Hill with Darren Young defeated Big E and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Alicia Fox and Brie Bella with Nikki Bella defeated Naomi and Tamina. Ryback defeated Seth Rollins by countout. Then Seth Rollins engaged the World Wars with Paul Heyman, and yet he's kissing his ass right now, 10 years later. Randy Orton dressed as Sheamus. Let's see what else. Neville defeated Heath Slater. Primetime players Darren Young and Tyson Hill defeated Ascension Connor victory. Yeah, that's it. I think I got everything. Now, that'll do it for my show tonight. So, my review is it got late. Cherry Hinshaw says like to dress up with cherry checkers, and learn to dance like James Brown, like to get in that hot tub. Gonna be sweat, gonna be dry, gonna be wet. Referring to Eddie Murphy doing the impression of James Brown on Saturday Night Live. I never grew up in the 80s, I grew up in the 90s. I saw old school Saturday Night Live when I was little. So, hope all have a good night. Now I'm gonna close out the show with something with a little bit of music for all of you tonight. This number one hit from 2005, 10 years ago, called Incomplete by the Backstreet Boys. It's one of my favorite songs. So hope all of you have a good night. Here it is, close out the show, Incomplete by the Backstreet Boys.
There you go.
Um, two things I want to order from Amazon.
What?
Um, Friday, DVD, and some clothes on King.
You got money?
It's at
You got enough?
771.
How much it comes to? Everything comes to. The DVD and the quarters and how much it comes to?
Check. I'll send you the video on what's in it.
Okay.